The Pulitzer Prize-winning play Fat Ham has opened the Detroit Public Theater's 10th anniversary season. The play by James Ijames is a modern take on Shakespeare's Hamlet. The lead character, Juicy, is a young black queer man who's visited by the ghost of his father, who demands that Juicy avenge his murder. I spoke with the actor in the lead role, Duane Shabazz, and Garlia Jones, the theater's marketing manager. Both of them are native Detroiters. Duane, I'm going to start with you. You are playing Hamlet
Yeah,
here in
essentially,
Detroit,
yeah,
in a way, right?
yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah,
a little bit of a twist on it, but talk about it's one of my favorite plays.
yeah,
Hamlet is, and it's one of my favorite roles. I think it's such a tortured and complicated role. Talk about
yeah. That's
bringing that to Detroit in the wraparound of Fat Ham, which is a little different than the Shakespeare version.
yeah. It's exciting. It's exciting, and like the fact that it is Shakespeare. It's I actually like when people bring that up because it is very much still in the vein of Shakespeare, still Hamlet, in the essence of it. Like the language isn't Shakespearean, isn't Shakespearean, but it's Shakespearean-esque, given the fact that the history of Shakespeare is that this language was mostly used. The language that Shakespeare wrote in was mainly language that was used amongst the commoners or the poor folk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I feel like James Ijames does the same thing with his take on this version. It's a mirror of the past and
Yeah.
what and how we speak today. And and I feel like, as from an actor perspective, and very much him, you have to keep that in mind. The fact that it is the Shakespearean piece. So, although it is a comedy, the needs and the wants of these characters are very desperate. And this every character in this play have something that they're hiding, that they're desperately fighting to not reveal. And it's exciting to bring this piece to Detroit, especially because I feel like this story that's being told by James Ijames, the story that he created, is it's not common that you see this kind of black story told. This isn't the stereotypical story that you normally see. And that's about a guy who's just different than different than his environment.
Yeah.
The people that he was raised around. He's more of an intellectual versus being a brute.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, and he's a weirdo. He likes different things. And I feel like it's very important to tell these kind of stories to show that black people black people, we're not a monolith.
Yeah.
We can be very diverse, and also as an actor, I just like the challenge of playing someone this outside of myself, but also connected to me in a lot of ways in my childhood.
This is the 10th anniversary of Detroit Public Theater.
Yeah.
Talk about how big a deal that is. I mean, I have to be honest, I didn't know that it was the 10th anniversary. It seems like things have gone much quicker. Like we might be on 5 or 6, but we're on 10.
No, I mean, I think for Detroit Public Theater to be bringing the type of work that that we have been over the last 10 years is really incredible, and to think about the growth of a theater in Detroit to now have its own space, right?
Yeah.
So now there is a proper brick and mortar that people can come to Detroit Public Theater and experience what that is, not only on the stage, but what it is to have that experience in the lobby, what it is to have the experience with someone at the box office that isn't a box office of a different space, but is Detroit Public Theater. So, being able to celebrate, I believe this is season 3 in the space, is really incredible incredible. I am new-ish to Detroit public theater.
Mhm.
We have collaborated on projects for the past couple of years, but I'm now an official part of the staff. So I have a very interesting view,
Mhm.
having worked with the producing ADs and Dominique, for the last couple years, and then now being like in the sauce, in the mix of what does that day to day mean, and really how truly exciting it is for me being from Detroit to continue to be part of what theater is in the city, which is a thing I personally have done for the last a couple years, not just here, but but, 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 but all over. So,
Yeah.
I think I am thrilled and excited that this is season 10, and also thrilled that season 10 started with this show in particular. Love this play. I'm very fond of, I worked at the public theater and was around for the original. So
Mhm.
so I just adore this play, and be, being an opening and seeing this production. I echo what, Duane shared, and James Imes's words are just incredible, and this is a story everyone should get out there and see. And I really feel, I'm thrilled it's in Detroit.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's very important that it's in Detroit, and that's what I think uh, they've demonstrated at Detroit Public Theater is that not only is there such a hunger for great theater in Detroit, but there's a hunger for that local angle that's
Yes.
related to theater. I mean, the number of plays they do by people here,
Mhm.
or that are set here,
Yeah.
is really really remarkable. I mean, it's such a great experience.
Well, I mean, it's so important for Black people in particular to see ourselves on stage, and so
Yeah,
most of the plays that we see with Detroit public theater are from Black playwrights, and so this story, just to have a character like Juicy on stage, and really be exploring things within himself, is just really incredible thing to be able to show to audiences, and we
sure.
don't know who we touch, right? You
Yeah,
don't know who is seeing that st story, and seeing themselves on stage.
yeah, yeah. Duane, I want to talk a little about your background. You are a Detroiter, and
Yes, I am.
it's huge that you're playing this role here in Detroit. But draw the line from being a kid here in Detroit, and
Yeah.
finding that inspiration and finding that opportunity to become, an actor.
Yeah, yeah. I've been blessed. It's definitely been a journey. And I'm still on the journey. I actually just started. I just recently graduated from NYU grad actor in 2023, May of 2023. And yeah, it's kind of a full circle moment because Courtney Burkett, who was one of the founders of the theater, she was actually my first director at Mosaic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mosaic Youth Theater Detroit.
That's great.
Yeah, she was my first director. So, and the last play we did together was The Tempest in 2014,
Okay.
and that same year, I worked with one of the actors here named Roosevelt. I worked with him that year, and but he did the sound on the Tempest. That was directed by Courtney, and that was the last play I was directed by Courtney. Courtney didn't direct this play, but this, to be working at our theater, it's full circle. It's been 10 years since we did the Tempest,
Wow.
and so it's very much full circle. And
what was the thing that made you decide this is what you wanted to do? I mean, you talk about being involved in Mosaic. Yeah.
The thing that decided, Mosaic. I would say Mosaic. Just the feeling it gave me, and I always wanted to be good at something. And how I grew up, I guess I really didn't feel like I had any other options. But acting was the option that I had, and I felt like, I feel like I was very good at it, or I could become very good at it. I play sports. I come from a sports background, and I played basketball. Always wanted to be like LeBron, but I ain't that tall. I'm not blessed with those abilities.
Had to make a choice, right?
yeah, exactly. Actor was the clear choice. But it's just really just something I feel like that I'm really good at. I feel like I learned so much from it, and throughout my journey and my journey training in theater, I feel like I learned so much about myself as a person and the kind of man I want to be, and the kind of artist I want to be as well, and the impression I want to leave, and the impression and mark I want to leave on the world.
Yeah. No, that's really great. Okay, well, Duane, congratulations on the role, and
Thank you.
Great to have you here at home in Detroit for the run of the show, and congratulations to you and everybody else at Detroit Public Theater. It is really great to have had that around for 10 years here in the city. Here's to 50 or 60 more, right?
Yes.